day 11 was our last full day on our holiday, and it's May 2nd, and we decided that I really wanted Valerie to see Coney Island. So we got on the world's longest ride. We caught the bus into the Port Authority and then took the train all the way from Manhattan through Brooklyn all the way down south. Long ride, interesting views. We finally made it to Coney Island. I don't know what time that was, 3 maybe. And then we walked around. It was not open yet. They were just starting to get it ready, so it was shut down. So we decided we wanted to walk along the harbor. And they wouldn't let us do that either because on the...
May I have your attention? This was service of final boarding on Flight 7, servicing into Seattle. Out of doorway mark 41B, asking all confirmed and ticketed passengers and standbys to please proceed to gates 41B for immediate departure. Once again, final immediate boarding call on Flight 7, servicing into Seattle. Out of the doorway mark 41B.
On the midway there.
On the midway, right along the ocean, they are filming Men in Black 3, the movie, so couldn't really walk along there. We had to stay out of the scenes of the camera people, which is what we did. But we got lots of other interesting pictures. We stopped there and we actually saw the hot dog eating contest championship sign, and I took lots of pictures of the rides. And then we went.
It was really cool. It was so cool.
So then we went to the McDonald's to eat one of Valerie's favorite meals. And we even saw the Terminal Hotel across the street from there. And then we took the subway ride. And then I decided to take a lot of rooftop photographs on this final trip going back to Manhattan. So I got lots of interesting ones, including the graveyard, which is just jam-packed.
Gigantic.
That was interesting.
Gigantic graveyard.
So I got lots of rooftop pictures, I got football fields, I got many businesses. And this is taking the whole length of Brooklyn into Manhattan again. Lots of interesting pictures. So then we got off in Manhattan and I decided Valerie had this place she wanted to go to on Mott Street, another funky clothing place, so we tried to get there and we walked all through Little Italy and Chinatown on foot. And we had talked to my friend Margarita Shamrokov. She had called me around 2 o'clock to see if we could meet, and we arranged that we would meet at West 4th Street in Greenwich Village to have supper at 8:10 p.m. We lined up catching a cab there because our Metro passes ran out and we bought new ones, and then they ran out and Valerie had too much bread, and
I was quite upset because a New Yorker came and yelled at me and said, "Hey, you have insufficient funds on that card." And I was like standing 2 feet from him, and he was very, very abrasive. He really hit me the wrong way, and I started to cry, and I couldn't stop crying, and Terry didn't understand, and he said, "That's just the way New Yorkers talk," and I guess it is, but...
So we couldn't get on the Metro anymore, running out of money. We'd gone to the ATM already a few times to get cash, just so we could keep eating and taking the cabs and stuff. So we met Margarita, and we lined up walking around a bit, and then we picked an Italian place for us to go eat at, which we did. So we were with her from 8 to about 11, I think. Had a good visit. She told us about her life and her career and her music lessons and her parents.
What does she make for music lessons, Terry? How much does she earn?
So she charges $65 for, or I think she said $45 for a 30-minute lesson, $65 for a 45-minute lesson, but she'd always go over because she always felt generous to her students. So the big news of the day in New York.
Once again, final boarding on Flight 7, servicing into Seattle. Out the door, boarding mark 41B, paging passenger Wendy Wolf. Wendy Wolf, please proceed to gate 41B for immediate departure. Wendy Wolf, please proceed to gate 41.
So we made our way back after that. We caught a cab from Greenwich Village with Margarita, and we got to the Port Authority, and they had set up displays for Osama bin Laden, who had been killed the night before. Lots of activity in Times Square and stuff. We tried to get there for some of that action, but we had missed it already. But we did try. So Osama bin Laden's the big topic here in the news in New York, and of course on CNN, etc. That's what everybody's talking about. Well, that was supposed to be the end of our concerts and stuff, but I didn't want to go home yet. So instead of catching the final bus into New Jersey, we decided we would once again go to a comedy club. And the show started at 12:30, that's in the morning, and ran till 2 a.m. There were 4 comedians we saw. So we went to that at the Hawk Club back on 46th, where the Dual Piano Show had been. And we heard 4 comedians. So there was this guy who was like drunk and drugged up in the audience, named Chris, I think, 35-year-old guy from Long Island. And he stuck a beer in, and he was like half passed out. So all the comedians were quite amused by him. And then finally we had to get home. It was 2 in the morning and there's no buses or subways into New Jersey. So we got a cab and I ended up paying the guy $80 to drive us back to our place in Union City for the final time, which is what we did. So we made our way back, and that was almost 3 in the morning because he got lost in the process trying to get us there. We had to direct him how to get there. We now know Union City and Weehawken better than the cab drivers do. And so that was that. We went to bed. I watched the first episode of The Voice, which I downloaded. And I also watched the latest Blue Bloods.